Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Intoxicated Sports Report. I'm Gage Samoji, he's Emerson Hip, and sitting in the peanut gallery today, Mr. Danny Del Zampo.
That was really good timing. Hopefully the people can hear what that was.
Yeah. I think this, though. No. Yeah. Just kidding. Good to have
I'm
you.
back.
Good to have you on, Danny.
Yeah. A little surprised, but surprises are great. Especially when they're you.
Who reached out to who?
Well, he hit me up about watching the Warriors game, which was... And I just said, well, you can come over and join us for the pod if you want.
Excellent.
And that's what happened.
And then I said, I'll think about it.
And then I pretty much didn't let him think about it.
Yeah.
Fair.
Now or never. You decide.
Good for you to be here, man.
Hey, glad to be here.
Good.
Glad that you'll have me.
What are you drinking?
Got a little C-.
We're all doing
We're all drinking C-minuses.
Cheers.
Cheers. Mountains are blue.
Mountains are extra blue.
Go Denver.
They play tomorrow.
I need the Clippers to win that series, though.
Then you shouldn't be drinking a Colorado Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Got a 33-degree Coors Light is about as crisp as it gets.
Pretty good. Still drinking the leftover beers from my birthday party.
Yeah. Did we drink these last time, or was it just Modelo's? I don't know if you had any Coors Lights over there.
I don't think I have any Coors. Doesn't seem like my style.
I don't think I had a single beer at your birthday.
I don't think I did.
Really?
Either.
Yeah.
Were you just taking shots? Making cocktails?
Well, I mean,
They had...
Oh, the margarita thing.
Yeah.
that's what I drank the whole time.
And taking shots.
Well, the shots, too, yeah. I don't think I had one beer.
I didn't even play one game of beer pong.
That margarita wasn't bad, but it just tasted like a headache, so I stayed away.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. Because I did have a headache in the morning.
Yeah.
I did not have a headache.
Oh, good for
But I'm made of steel. Called me Superman. And I'm not who is Superman in the
This
NBA?
show's out to a hot start.
Who is Superman in NBA?
Oh, Dwight Howard?
Yeah.
And then Shaq.
Shaq?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking Dwight Howard, though.
Oh,
Dwight Howard was way better.
In what way? That he wore a cape?
Yeah, exactly.
Being in a dunk contest and throwing the ball in the basket, not actually dunking it.
Right? He's a good chucker of the ball into the hoop.
He is.
Was that over a car?
No.
No.
That was just a leap of faith.
Blake Griffin's leap over the car, especially after seeing Matt McClung do what he did.
Most overrated dunk all the time.
Which one?
Blake's.
Yeah. He jumped over. I mean, I'll give him credit. I can't do it, but he did. He jumped over the headlights of the car.
Yeah, basically.
Which you're still jumping over a car, I guess.
Yeah.
In a way.
I mean, Mac McClung almost fucking murdered himself.
It was close. It was close.
Foot.
But he made it work. So.
Yeah.
No one's ever gonna remember the clip.
No.
They remember the dunk. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Anyhow.
You want to talk about the Warriors?
Yeah, Warriors lost. Series extended. We'll get into more detail later, of course. But we were hoping to be celebrating, me and Danny, that is, the Series W.
Not me. Warriors lose.
Well, yes.
Yes.
But
Wasn't the best yes on that.
No,
No,
that's a bad one. We have new buttons, if you can't tell.
yeah, we're full on soundboard.
We have a yes one, a maybe one, which it stinks already, but we're going to let it ride. And then the no one.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they go. We already off to a hot start.
Yeah. We got Lakers Wolves on right now. Wolves are up early, but still a lot of time left. They just started.
Lakers playing for their basketball lives.
Yeah, they are on the brink of elimination, just like the Rockets were. So see what they can do on the home floor.
We need the Lakers to win.
Oh, no,
series.
are they in Minnesota?
Lakers are at home.
They are at home, that's right. Oh, that's right, yeah.
We need the Lakers to win. We both picked the Lakers. I mean, I guess for our picks, we need it.
Right.
But as a Warriors fan,
I could give a shit. I mean, I love seeing the Lakers lose. It's funny, though, if the Lakers went on and won the series, would we be now scared of them again? As opponents?
probably not.
Yeah.
I feel like going into the playoffs, if it came who we would play next, I would have rather taken the Timberwolves. But now
I'm not so sure about that. Yeah.
But I'm saying now seeing how they played the Lakers,
Right. Anthony Edwards is playing out of his mind right now, as expected.
So the two legs in my parlay, one leg has already happened. Warriors losing to Houston, and I need the Timberwolves to win tonight.
Yeah.
As it was written.
Yeah. I do have the advantage in our picks of, I could nail the Warriors in 6 next game.
Yeah.
Or if they won tonight, you guys would all get minus points for picking the Rockets.
That's true.
So either way, I just need to win next game now. Get 2
Were you
shots
the only
at it.
person out of the four of us to pick the Warriors?
I was, yeah.
I don't even know what
Bunch of haters over here.
Well, I mean, I obviously am a hater, yes. But, I mean, what was I thinking? Thinking that the Warriors, who have lost one Western Conference playoff series since Steve Kerr's gotten there, they wouldn't win another one. It's what they do.
Yeah, they've never lost in the first round, no.
No.
Yeah. And they've only...
Not under Steve Kerr, no.
Yeah.
They lost to this...
Pretty much. I mean, the only...
Game, right?
Yeah, the only time they made the playoffs and didn't go to the finals was...
They lost to the Lakers.
Yeah, exactly. Second round.
So, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They do this. That's what they do. They didn't do it tonight, but it's what they do.
Yeah. All right, so we're jumping into the news.
Do it.
So starting with the Giants, they dropped, unfortunately, both games of their 2-game series in San Diego to start the week.
Weird 2-game series.
It was a weird, quick little trip down to San Diego, but they'll be back home for the weekend. They are now 19-12 on the season, third in the National League West, and fourth best overall, though.
We'll take it.
National League West is loaded.
They're doing a lot better than I thought they would.
Absolutely.
And you got to take it for what it is.
Yeah, no doubt. The Giants also honored Brandon Crawford on Saturday with Bruce Bochy and the Rangers in town.
Very nice.
Nice little thing they did for him, and well deserved, of course.
Yeah. The first pitch was Crawford to Posey.
Not the best first pitch I've ever seen.
No, I thought the same thing.
I actually didn't see it.
I'm glad it was terrible.
Was it bad?
Dude, this guy was.
Did he just
This guy
cupcake it in there?
This guy made a career out of throwing dimes to first. He couldn't throw it a shorter distance.
It was high and outside.
Ooh.
It was bad. Like Posey had to get off out of the squat to get it.
Was it worse than 50 cents?
No.
I'm kidding. I know it could have been.
But 50 Cent's also not a professional athlete.
Yeah. How about E40s the other day?
Did he have a bad one?
He spiked it.
The
was
41
really
was worse.
Yeah.
Just the Crawford one, you would think he's just gonna.
Okay, relative to their athleticism, was it worse? No, I'm going layers right
Well, I
now.
mean, given the fact that Brandon Crawford was a professional athlete, probably the best shortstop in Giants history, I expected it to be right down the pipe.
I would agree with that too.
A little surprised.
Yeah.
He was wearing a suit though. Maybe it's a little hard to throw in a suit.
Hunter Pence threw one like a week ago or
To
something.
his wife, yeah.
That wasn't the best throw either. It's
Yeah,
definitely better than Cross.
Maybe those guys after they're done playing are like, I'm not gonna touch a baseball for a fucking year.
And throwing a baseball is a very unnatural, motion
Yeah.
and stress on your body. So
I just would like to know what Brandon Crawford, and maybe he talked about it after, but what he thought of that, because I'm sure he wasn't happy with himself.
no.
You guys should definitely do a live reaction of the worst first pitches of all time.
The 50 Cent one's really bad.
Hey, at least for him, he made it to the backstop. E40 fucking spiked his halfway to home plate.
There's some good ones.
He probably had too much Slurricane before or something like that.
Had too much stickum on his fingers.
Or too much
spider tack.
Too much E40 Earl Stevens selections.
There's Gary Dell'Abate. He's the producer of Howard Stern Show. He took out a cameraman. That was a pretty good one.
Jeez. That's bad. Took out a cameraman?
Basically.
Oh, yeah.
It was so far out, hit the camera.
Jeez.
Other fun stuff that happened for the Giants over the weekend was Elliot Ramos with his Little League walk-off home run on Sunday.
My sister was at that game.
Oh, Drew.
And JoJo.
Oh, that's right. They did go to the game. Wow. That's pretty cool. Pretty wild play. Obviously, swing and bunt that turned into a 3-base error.
It's not something that you see every day.
No.
You wouldn't expect that out of professional athletes.
Honestly, the pitcher made a pretty sweet pickup on the play, and then, for whatever reason, decided to go, shortstop mode and flung one into freaking right field.
Man, I thought he was Derek Jeter.
I know. It's what the fuck is this? It's you're not fucking Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's you're not making
in a tie
time.
game in the bottom of the ninth, no less. So
really funny way to end the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
You gotta love it. I'm sure being there was awesome.
Right. On to the Stanley Cup playoffs. We had 3 games today. Washington and Montreal. I honestly have no idea what the scores were, but we could look them up on the fly.
I'm not even gonna act like I spent any time watching any kind of Stanley Cup playoffs.
I haven't been totally dialed in. I've kind of watched here and there. I've been paying attention to the Vegas series, of course, just because I want to see them lose. But they keep finding ways to win games in overtime.
They do that.
Yeah.
I can tell you I haven't seen a single NHL playoff game this year.
Really?
Yeah.
The NHL playoffs are fucking fun, though. I know it's different when you don't got your team playing it, but they're electric.
Absolutely.
I mean,
when the Sharks are in it, though, you're like, eh.
When we went to that Sharks playoff game, that's up there as far as one of the most intense, crowd, I've been a part of.
Atmospheres?
Yeah, atmospheres. That's what word I was looking for.
That was after you guys, that was popped champagne.
Yeah.
Game 2.
Game 1.
Game 1.
Round 2.
Game 1, round 2.
Hey, we just had it.
They did go to the Stanley Cup final that year.
They did.
Now we got to do it every time. 2
Yeah.
2 years from now, we'll be doing it.
Yeah, can't wait. So Washington.
Is that a bold prediction?
Oh, dude.
Oh shit!
It just
You
came
did
out.
say it.
2 years?
It did come out of your mouth. Come on, line it up, Danny. Let's go.
You think? Wait. What are you saying?
Sharks will be in the playoffs in 2 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
playoffs. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said. I thought you said the cup. I was like,
No.
But he did say that we'll pop champagne, which means they will go to the cup.
Okay. So, Danny, you're clear on
No,
Okay.
we would win the first game.
Of round 2.
All right.
Are we putting this on wax?
Danny,
Might as well.
You gonna put on wax? Okay.
What do I have to lose? Oh no, I gotta take a shot. I
Yeah.
have to take a shot in 2 years from now?
You have
Make the
nothing to lose.
playoffs in 2 years.
Gage, we're gonna do a
Yeah.
little half-y
Okay.
cheers 'em.
I got a bold prediction later too. So
Sweet. So you mean pour your Chevy?
no. Say the 30th. It's already May tomorrow. It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May. In other NHL news, the Capitals did finish off the Canadiens today. Beat them in 5 games. And then Florida beat Tampa Bay in 5 games as well.
Yeah, I saw it was the Capitals player that got suspended for a game.
It was the Florida player.
Florida player.
Yeah, he gave a little elbow to the head of a Lightning guy.
So I made the Emerson mentioned it last time. I'm gonna try my best to do it this time.
Oh, Hall of Fame.
ISR Bowl Prediction Hall of Fame. Emerson has 3. I have what I thought would be 1.
Yeah.
Emerson has Miami Heat go to the NBA Finals. That was in 2020. I don't know the exact day. Warriors win the championship. That was in like 2022, which was brutal for me because I looked like a fool for that one. And then of course Ovechkin passing Gretzky. That was I think that's your best bowl prediction you've ever had.
I don't know. The Warriors one was pretty good.
I think it's your best longevity.
Yeah,
prediction.
long-term one, for sure.
The Warriors one is probably your best one, but I like the Ovechkin
Yeah.
longevity-ness. And mine was the Kendrick Lamar drops an album before the Super Bowl performance.
Yeah.
Given how he doesn't drop albums that often.
Are you going to give me another one when Giannis gets traded this offseason?
I'm glad you mentioned it. You know who else has that one with you is Dylan.
Me and Dylan. I'll have to give him a call. We'll have to get him on the show.
You should. You should, honestly. So
We're gonna predict what team he goes to.
Not necessarily. I mean, we could. It's going to be the Warriors.
yeah. And also, I've really made a point to let me know who owes bowl predictions.
Oh, for
Brett
sure.
Brett still owes one for the
No,
A's.
he's holding out.
Yeah, the A's 50 game win season when they played 60, I think, right? Or
Yeah.
80.
Yeah.
That wasn't good.
50 wins.
That was a stupid prediction.
Yeah,
Well, it was bold.
50 out of 60.
Zoe, the Browns will go to the Super Bowl this season. That was in 2020.
Another stupid
The Browns did not go to the Super Bowl.
That was a weird one. There was like a couple layers to it, wasn't there? Like with like OBJ getting traded or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
And then, of course, I was going to mention it later on, but we're already here. You know, Devin said Cooper Flagg wouldn't declare for the NBA draft. And
That was a quick one.
he did like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, Devin, you owe because I think that was warranted owing.
Yeah.
So,
Because it was pretty obvious that was going to happen.
yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
To the Sharks, right?
To the Sharks. Playoffs 2 years. You know who'd be happy about that? Garrett. If you remember any more bowl predictions that you think are Hall of Fame worthy.
I'll see if I can pull them out of my keister.
Should we let Danny know what's in ISR jail just so he doesn't have to shoot anything?
Yeah, because what happened? What did we put in last time around, or was it 2 times around?
Okay, so I'm going to say them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in trouble. No.
My favorite one that we have is Antonio Brown is done until he makes Hall of Fame or does charitable things.
I think you can take that one out by now.
We'll see.
You never know.
No more premature GOAT debates. Don't talk about that. Mm-hmm. The golden at bat rule we don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
And then this one's recent. This one.
The what one?
The golden,
golden
at
at
bat,
bat.
like idea that MLB is floating.
Oh,
Yeah, really stupid.
And then this one was 3 weeks ago. It just says Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah.
Can't talk about it.
Can't talk
Just
about
can't
Aaron
talk
No,
about
Aaron
it.
Rodgers.
Well, I think maybe until he
He
gets.
gets onto it.
Yeah, we did put some.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
You guys
We'll have to
saying
go back and see if we can find what the stipulations were.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'd have to go back.
Yeah,
So,
because I think we did decide we were gonna wait till the end to write it down, but we must not have.
so Danny, just keep that in mind. Back of the head, okay? Back of the head.
There was somebody else I wanted to throw in. I totally forgot what it was.
Yeah, we don't really utilize jail as much. Did you come up with the jail idea, or was that you?
I think it was me.
Okay. You had a Gronk one,
Oh yeah, until no talk about
But-
Gronk coming out of retirement.
but he's not coming out of
Nah,
retirement.
he's
so
done.
he's good. Anyways,
Every year they talk about it. I think they did last year, too.
No, yeah, someone called. I think the Giants called him or something like that. All right, PSG is our last part of the news, and of course, yesterday they won the first leg of their matchup in the semifinals with Arsenal, 1-0 in London. Bada bing, bada boom. Dembele with the lone goal in the 4th minute. Second leg will be in Paris next Wednesday.
Okay.
Get ready. They also unfortunately lost their first game in league play of the season, so undefeated season not going to happen. But they came so close.
Did they lose to?
They lost to your boys, OG Nice.
I saw this in the notes. I'm like, he's going to say it. I might just let him say it.
When I found out that's who it was, I was like, this is not missing the show.
I can't. So it's actually OG Nice?
Nice, yeah.
Nice, yeah. I read it. You read something. OG, it says
It looks nice.
Danny, what does it say?
Nice.
Well, he's French. You didn't
Yeah, of course.
Del Zampo.
Yeah, we
French.
we. Yeah, so.
Oh, that's how you spell nice?
It's NEEC.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
On to the NFL draft. The Tennessee Titans select Miami quarterback Cam Ward with their number 1 overall pick. Cool little note. I saw Cam Ward play
You did.
at Miami. I was like, that's kind of cool for me. A little bit of a brag. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Cal for blowing that game against Miami. That was terrible. The Jaguars. They trade up to number 2 to select Colorado two-way player Travis Hunter. The Browns received the number 5 pick as well as the number 36 pick and a first-round pick next year, and other notable picks go along with that as well.
Yeah.
And the Browns sure know how to pick them.
They love picking just... Have you seen their quarterback room now? They have like 5 guys, 5 or 6 guys.
5 guys that all suck.
Can you name them all?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Flacco.
yeah, Flacco,
Deshaun,
Kenny Apple Pickett, Shador Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Which I liked. I forgot about Dylan Gabriel. I liked Dylan Gabriel a little bit. I thought he was pretty good at Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of a college player. I don't know. We'll see. You never know.
So were you surprised that the Browns decided to not go with trying to get Travis Hunter and the Jags went up to get him?
A little bit. I mean, I feel like they got a pretty good return, but obviously you got to see all these guys develop before you can really say who won the trade, right? But it felt like the Browns could have used like a potential franchise type player, and they, of course, passed up on that option. So.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they're playing the long game a little bit.
I mean, what did they win 3 games last year? So of course they have a long way to go and a lot of holes to fill to get back to where they want to be.
They've been playing the long game since they were established as a franchise.
Exactly.
It is kind of funny though that I know with them trading down it changes things a little bit, but they could have gotten Travis Hunter and down the line Shador Sanders as well.
Yeah.
But maybe if they didn't do that, it wouldn't have happened that way because the way the picks worked out.
Exactly.
Who knows?
I saw something about how they have a really bad history of trading down and like it just not working out, and like the player that gets drafted where they would have drafted turns out to be a good player.
The Browns?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't.
We'll see.
I like that then.
No, it's not good for them. Like they have a bad history of trading down and it not working out for them.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I think for Travis Hunter, you kind of if he wants to play receiver or do both. I know Trevor Lawrence, our boy, hasn't really been what we thought he was going to be up to this point, but it's another weapon.
Could be 2 nice weapons with him and Brian Thomas, a couple young receivers.
Yeah, just saying. The New York Giants drafted edge rusher Abdul Carter, number 3 overall out of Penn State. That is bad news for Dak Prescott because I think he's going to be really good.
A lot of Micah Parsons comps with
Yeah,
him.
he wore the same number in college, I believe.
Yep.
I don't know if number 11's like a
one of
seniority
those,
number that you wear.
Yeah, like a number
defense.
88 with the Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a good pick for the Giants. I think at that point, it was a no-brainer to pick Abdul Carter.
Yeah. Did you hear about the whole thing with him asking for Lawrence Taylor's number?
Did he?
Yeah. I'm like, you're out of your mind, dude.
The audacity. See, he did. Yeah, I did not see that. That went right over my head.
Yeah, they were talking about it on her the other day.
What? Well, I can only imagine what Colin was saying about it.
And I read that headline and it didn't make sense on ESPN. I didn't even click on it because I didn't know who they were talking about. But I was like, what? Are you out of your mind?
I would be okay with it if they started to use the number as, like you mentioned with the Cowboys, to kind of maybe
Lawrence
pass it
Taylor's
down.
like an all-timer. I mean, and no
Could be
disrespect to Michael Irvin, but like he wasn't that good.
He wasn't. No, he wasn't.
He's a really good player.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Like Lawrence Taylor, from what I've heard, I never got to see him play. None of us did, obviously.
Yeah.
But people say he's the greatest defender of all time.
I mean, he's like the original sack man.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So
he essentially made the left tackle position valuable because those guys had to stop him.
Yeah. I mean, you got to respect Abdul Carter for having the confidence to be like, I want this guy's number, and he knows who Lawrence Taylor is.
Yeah.
Buy one his number. It's like, come on,
That's wild.
Get real.
Yeah.
You know how many New York Giants fans, if he got the number, would be pissed off?
Yeah.
Unless he was like anywhere close to as good as Lawrence Taylor.
But that's putting some lofty expectations.
That is. Las Vegas Raiders
Whoa!
select Boise State running back Ashton Genty. Not Genty.
GT. Yeah.
Genty. With the 6th pick. And you didn't like this pick.
You know, at first I was like, I feel like they need other things, and the Raiders kind of always need other things. But it just didn't seem like that was the right use of the pick. But, you know, if he can be a productive player, he could be, you know, helpful with that roster and Geno and all that. And they definitely need some playmakers. So if he can be that, I worry about him as far as, I mean, the dude's 5'8". He's a little dude. He's stocky for sure, but I just don't know about his, you know, long-term potential.
Muscle hamster 2.0.
The Raiders are hoping he's better than.
Yeah, that'd be a real disappointment.
That's for sure.
Hey, put some credit on his name. He was fine before he went to the Raiders.
Yeah, Doug Martin had a couple good years with Tampa. Yeah.
I'm wondering if the Raiders had any kind of thought process because, okay, I know they signed Geno. I get it, the whole Pete Carroll thing. Geno Smith is not the answer quarterback for the Raiders long term. It's just not. It's not even a short term answer. He's a Jag.
Yeah.
Not a Jaguar, but he's a Jag. He's just a guy. I'm sorry.
Just a guy.
So did they think about Shador or did they think about even Jackson Dart at all?
I mean, clearly nobody thought about Shador, which we'll get to.
Well, I bet you a lot of people did, and we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it had in the back of their mind, be like, well, we do kind of need a quarterback for the future. Could maybe sit down for a little bit behind Geno, or unless Geno gets hurt.
Yeah. I was surprised that they didn't draft any quarterback at
Yeah,
all.
I
Like somebody.
If I was a Raider fan, I wouldn't. I mean, the Genty.
Yeah.
See, I can't help it. I can't help it.
yourself sucked in.
Genty. With the Genty pick, as a Raider fan, I'd be like, I just don't. I mean, it's probably best player available, maybe. But
you
like,
could argue that.
we need a good quarterback.
Right.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
I know Geno had a couple good games. He had that game against the Niners. I'm not trying to rub it in, but he had that good game against the Niners. He has his moments.
Yeah.
But it's just, we all know it. We all know he's not the long-term answer.
Right.
He's not like a top 10 quarterback.
I mean, the obvious connection is there with Pete Carroll, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
but and he knows he can win games with them. Some games, it's going to be hard in that division, though, man.
Yeah.
And maybe they're just like, we're not going to waste our time with someone who we're on the fence about. We're going to wait till we know we got the guy.
Yeah, that's fair. And maybe next year they try to not tank, but maybe try to get.
The Raiders could be really bad once again. Like they could be a 3-win team.
They're probably going to.
They could win 7 games.
They're probably going to be fourth in the division.
Yeah, but there's a good chance they're going to be last in the division.
If I remember hearing right, it's a pretty strong quarterback class next year.
From what I've heard, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really heard about it with the names.
I mean, Arch Manning would probably be
Arch,
up there.
yeah. Be interesting to see how good of a year he even has because he hasn't been a true starter yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shador Sanders, he fell all the way to the 5th round. The Browns selected him in the 144th pick overall. And the Browns, like we mentioned, also picked up Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round.
Yeah, that the whole thing's weird. I mean, I guess from this standpoint, okay, you draft 2 rookie quarterbacks in the same class. Your odds of one hitting maybe go up, but I felt like both these guys, Shador was already a coin flip at best, and then Dylan Gabriel, like him being a 3rd round quarterback, I felt like it was a reach in its own right. So
maybe they were trying to go the 2012 Washington Redskins route. RG3 and Kirk Cousins.
RG3 actually was kind of a stud. Well, not that Shador wasn't pretty good.
Well, they both were good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
When it comes to Cousins and
yeah.
Well, both good pros. Well, I mean, I guess
it's actually crazy to think that Kirk put together
a better,
actually a really nice career.
Yeah, a longer and better career than RG3. But with Shador, this had to have been who he is and who his dad is. The reason why he fell so hard, right?
I think there's a lot of factors. I think
he's cocky.
I think part of it was like the hype was maybe larger than it deserved to be. Not even just like the NFL people are like, this guy he might be okay, but he's not as good as everyone wants to think he is. His dad made him out to be this top, this number 1 pick or worthy of being a number 1 pick, but really he's not in our eyes. And he's out here fumbling interviews on purpose.
Yeah.
So, supposedly anyways.
Really weird situation.
Yeah.
What do you think, Danny?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Emerson, your 49ers, Emerson and Danny, excuse me, your 49ers, they drafted Georgia edge rusher Mikael Williams with the 11th overall pick. That's their third highest rated pass rusher and the 12th overall by ESPN.
On the surface, I'm like, okay, I like it. You know, we need some more guys to help Bosa pressure the quarterback. A lot of people bashed the Niners for this pick, though. Apparently,
yeah, I was
post draft.
I did see that too.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys,
very unpolished, just from what I've heard.
Yeah, just kind of an athlete, but hasn't had a lot of production. But I don't know. I guess like when you're going to a school like Georgia where the whole team is loaded, like you're maybe not going to be the guy that gets the sack every time.
Well, I think for you guys, I feel like in recent history, if you play for Georgia and you go to the league, you're pretty good.
Well, that was my thing too. Is like I feel like the Niners went the route of the Philadelphia Eagles. Just take some motherfuckers from the SEC.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what their second pick was too. Yeah. Which they seem to be the conference that produces the most, NFL talent. So
yeah, you can tell Robert Saleh is definitely back because the Niners used their first 5 draft picks on defensive players. You like that? I mean,
it's a clear and obvious direction that they're going.
Gotta have a good defense.
Yeah, and I'm not mad about it.
Gotta have a good defense.
Seemed like positions that we needed help with, so I wasn't upset.
Yeah, defensive line. You got 2 tackles and an edge rusher. So
yeah, love that.
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. Only drafted one offensive lineman. That is Connor Colby, guard from Iowa, in the 7th round. Go Hawkeyes! Thank you.
Yeah, that was a little shocking. I thought they would draft a couple linemen and a little earlier than they did as well.
Because defense is important, but you know what else is important? Protecting the quarterback.
I mean, my only defense of this would be that maybe they just at each pick that they got to, they just didn't have because I left a next left tackle to take over for Trent Williams at some point has to be addressed. Yeah,
because Trent's probably got, at the most 2 more years.
That's what I would say. Yeah,
maybe 3 if you're playing with house money.
I guess, but how long is he actually going to be good?
Yeah,
because he was injured a lot last year, and I even felt like not that productive when he was in there.
Yeah,
to begin with. So yeah, I thought a tackle like one, just take one. Doesn't matter what round it is.
Was there anything else that you maybe were a little disappointed in or surprised that they didn't go through pick in the draft?
I feel like they addressed pretty much everything. I feel like they pretty much addressed everything.
Good.
I mean, they actually took more receivers than they took 2 receivers. I was kind of surprised about that. I thought maybe they would do another. Well, they got 2 defensive backs. No, yeah, I'm not upset about anything.
Yeah.
And like the running back and the receiver they drafted in the middle of the draft, I felt like they could be interesting prospects.
Yeah. Well, knowing the Niners, especially how they draft in the middle of the draft, some of those guys are going to hit. Such in their history since Shanahan's been there and Lynch has been there, it's kind of just what happens.
Yeah.
Or even later in the draft.
Right. I mean, from a receiver standpoint, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that because, I wouldn't say Debo really counts because he was a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah.
But running backs, they definitely hit on.
Yeah. My Dallas Cat, what were you saying?
There was definitely, I think my thought changed after re-signing Juszczyk, but I thought maybe a late round steal would have been Cam Scatterbo going to the Niners.
Yeah.
But
they got this other guy, what is his name? Jordan something from Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah. Who kind of a smaller but stocky, tough runner. So
also, New York Giants never mentioned Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah.
I think that could be, it probably won't happen, but a nice future backfield.
Scatterbo doesn't strike me as a
top
tier running back, but I could have saw him filling a fullback role like Juice.
Yeah.
That's why I was when we initially released Juice, I was like,
yeah.
He's actually, even though he's like a thick, tough runner, he's smaller build wise than he looks like when he's playing in college football. Anyways,
Who, Scatterbo?
Yeah.
My Dallas Cowboys. They drafted That's you.
Yeah.
I remember. I was here.
They drafted Tyler Booker, offensive guard out of Alabama, with the 12th pick of the draft. 2nd highest rated interior lineman and 51st overall by ESPN. I like they put pro comp Tyler Smith.
No, that was on ESPN.com. I just took that from them.
So, I think I saw this, and then I think Stephen A. make fun of the Cowboys because that's how he makes his money.
Yeah.
Is the Cowboys have, I think, the past 3 years drafted a lineman with the first name Tyler.
No. So who was the other one?
I don't know who the first one was.
Is he not? He must not be a starter.
He might not be.
Yeah.
But it is funny how...
Tyler Smith's a good player.
Yeah.
No.
It is funny how Jerry Jones' brain happens to work.
Yeah.
So. I do like the pick by the Cowboys. I knew they weren't going to go sexy. It was like kind of afraid. It was this kind of shades of Manziel instead of Zach Martin a little bit. Maybe trying to get Shador instead of this guy.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy's going to be as good as Zach Martin, but kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it a shot. And he's got, some high praise.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a sexy pick, but the Cowboys kind of go this route. You got to protect the quarterback, especially with Dak's injury history the past few years. It's something that needs to be addressed, especially with Zach Martin retiring. Tyron Smith is now retired, but was with the Jets last year. Just the offensive line needs to be.
Yeah, I think as much as anything, this is about the run game too. They got to get that middle of the line.
Great point.
On paper, it felt like a reach, just because a guard that seems high to draft a guard, but after hearing his interview, he seems like he's a fucking baller.
Oh, I heard that interview that it was with Micah Parsons on the couch.
Yeah,
and he was like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's pretty much how some people have joy of playing football. And then when they play me, that joy loses. It gets lost.
Yeah.
And the way he said it was, I'm botching it, but he said it perfectly. Yeah. It was like you want to run through a wall for the guy.
I definitely admire his confidence.
So I like that a lot. The Cowboys also addressed some other needs by drafting 3 defensive linemen and 2 running backs. It's definitely what they needed. I think before, a couple weeks ago when Dev asked me what the Cowboys needed, I would probably say defense, linemen, and running backs.
Yeah.
Kind of wish they would have tried to go the receiver route a little bit.
I'm surprised too that not even a late round one,
I think it's where they missed. If I had to say where they missed.
Because if you look at the receiver room, it's CeeDee Lamb and then a bunch of who's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Brandon Cooks, but he's been injured the past few years. He's reliable and he's old.
Yeah.
So I think the Cowboys maybe are hoping to go through free agency, although they're not really good in free agency. So I don't see what's really going to happen.
And it's too late for that, anyways.
Or maybe try to pick up free agents, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe, but kind of a miss on that part by the Cowboys, unfortunately. But we'll see how it goes. A little bit of Bay Area college players that got drafted. Some Cal players. Cornerback Noel Williams was drafted by the Chiefs in the 3rd round. Safety Craig Woodson was drafted by the Patriots in the 4th round. Linebacker, is it Teddy?
I think it is Teddy.
Teddy Buchanan was drafted by the Ravens in the 4th round. And cornerback Marcus Harris was drafted by the Titans in the 6th round.
You saw all these guys play. You just didn't know.
I guess, I did, yeah. another brag. And then your Stanford Cardinals wide receiver Eric
Elick.
Help me with the last name.
Elick Iomanner.
Thank you. Bless you.
He's a stud receiver, honestly. He
Was he?
cooked Travis Hunter all the way up the field against Colorado.
Was it? Did he?
Do you remember that comeback win they had against him last year?
I do.
Yeah, they were down by 23 or something like that.
Yeah, he was drafted by Titans in the 4th round.
He had 15 catches in that game.
Wow. And Travis Hunter was on pretty much.
Not the whole game, but definitely in the second half.
Of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to the newly drafted Bay Area college players.
Yeah.
I like that.
Elick Iomanner is actually Canadian too, which is interesting.
Hey.
Hey.
I like that.
Hey.
Maple rice.
You're stupid. What's another thing that's Canadian?
Well, we already had maple Jordan.
Ice rice.
So.
Maple
Ice
Jordan.
rice.
Good stuff.
Great stuff.
Let's talk NBA playoffs. What was I about to say?
Okay.
I wanted to say NFL playoffs, but we're not there yet.
No, we're not.
Just had them. Starting with the Thunder, they wrapped up their first round sweep of the Grizzlies on Saturday with a 117-115 win. They won game 1 by 51 points.
That was bad.
Had some closer calls later in the series, but game 3 was a pretty wild comeback from 29 down to win. Ja Morant did leave that game with injury and did not play in game 4. Any thoughts on this series?
I'm glad I nailed the pick.
Yeah.
And you were really close to nailing your picks. I knew because that game when they came back from what was it 29 down.
Lead,
I was like, this motherfucker Emerson is going to get in 5 because they're going to win the next game.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah, that was a hell of a comeback.
It was. This series, it just shows that the Grizzlies are not even close to the level of the Thunder, and I'm not sure if any team is.
Well, I mean, like Josh said, he had them figured out.
Well, and he was fine. And 3 years ago, he was fine in the West.
He was fine in the West.
Fine in the West.
Yeah.
Just make sure everyone remembers that.
Yeah. Definitely a nothing series. I mean, I expected the Thunder to win in 5 or less games, and they did just that.
Yeah.
The Cavs, they finished off their sweep of the Heat on Monday.
God.
Capping off the most lopsided series in NBA history, they outscored Miami by 122 points for an average margin of victory of 30 points per game.
So much for that Heat culture in this series, huh?
Yeah, where's that?
This was the LeBron James series, by the way.
That's right.
Cavs versus Heat.
Yeah.
Are Cavs that good or the Heat that bad?
I think it's more the Heat didn't have it than the Cavs being that good. It's not that I think the jury's still out on the Cavs, but they still have to beat Boston.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And even Indiana's not going to be a cakewalk.
I think you could say it is how good the Cavs are because we know the Heat, and I know they've had Jimmy Butler the past couple of years, but they can have still. We know about, I just made the joke, but the culture, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, I was surprised that they got swept because I thought they could at least get a game just off of grit.
Right. I'm surprised that it was that bad too, but they're a very diminished version of, this era of the Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those last two games in Miami, by the way, were bad. Cleveland won by 37 and 55 points, respectively.
I will say, I loved watching the end of that game, and nobody in the Miami Stadium.
Yeah.
With like 5 minutes left.
I think I heard that Game 3 by the Heat was their worst loss in franchise history.
And then
followed up by their actual worst loss
another
in
almost
franchise
20
history.
on
In playoff history.
Yeah, that's wild.
It might actually be franchise history because losing by 55 points, that's a lot.
That doesn't really happen.
No.
Yeah.
It's bad. I mean,
there's been some crazy blowouts actually in this postseason. Yeah. I mean, those two that we just mentioned with OKC are notable, but
I do agree with you. But I think, given that, it's been a pretty good playoffs.
Oh no, it has been for sure. There's been a lot of really intense games and tight playoffs.
I just think it was probably those
finishes.
two series in particular.
Yeah, I mean, when you got the 1-8 matchups, that's going to happen for sure. Pacers and Celtics both had Game 5 series clinching wins last night. Indiana beat Milwaukee in overtime after trailing by 7 with less than 40 seconds. That was a pretty wild comeback.
Yeah.
Halliburton had that game-winning layup where he cooked Giannis off the dribble. Obviously, some weird things happening at the end of that game with Halliburton's dad taunting.
Does he need to be on the court like that?
Nah, he shouldn't be allowed. Let's put it
I
that
think
way.
he should not be allowed going further.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure.
Well, he should be allowed to probably sit in the same seat, but he cannot get on the court.
I don't even know about that.
He should have to be a few rows up, I think.
But he should still be allowed to be at the game.
Yeah, I think being at the game is fine, but yeah, I think that was definitely pushing the limit.
Yeah.
Giannis. At first glance, I didn't know what was going on because I was watching it without sound. I was like, why is he being a bitch? I didn't even know who the guy was.
Yeah.
But after the context came out, I was like, all right, yeah, that dude was definitely in the wrong. And I feel for Giannis. But I think overall, he handled his media session pretty well.
Well, I even saw Halliburton post game. Like he was like, he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I need to talk to my dad. Like,
Yeah, no, he did
Like
admit.
even Halliburton knows what his dad. I mean, he's probably more embarrassed about his dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But like that can't happen.
No.
That's like honestly, if I was a professional athlete, that's the kind of shit my dad would probably do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Dad, you cannot do this. Please do not do this ever again. To Giannis, like, it's funny because Giannis is like literally looking down on him because Giannis is a tank, and Halliburton's dad does not look like. He might be like our height. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. I mean, probably no more than 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like you got some balls, man. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Giannis is not
to go
the
to
guy
Giannis is just a specimen.
Yeah, he's not the type of guy that's going to fight someone, but he's not someone still that anyone like us would walk up to and start talking shit.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Talking shit when they have one of their best players not playing.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Towards Achilles.
it'd be one thing if like the Bucks were like in their championship, run or whatever, and they upset them.
Yeah.
But even so, it was childish. Knicks and Pistons series, the only one in the East that has yet to be decided. Detroit forced a Game 6 by beating the Knicks in the Garden last night.
My Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6.
Game 6 is tomorrow in Detroit. You think the Knicks are going to finish it off?
Yes.
I do.
Okay, Spike Lee.
I do think the Knicks are going to finish it off in 6.
Not so fast. Not so fast.
Because what'd you say? Pistons in 7?
Yeah, Pistons in 6, actually.
Okay, so that's not going to be.
That's not going to happen.
That's okay.
But at least they kept me from getting embarrassed and losing in 5.
Fair. Very fair.
Honestly, I don't know if you guys watched the end of that Game 4. Was it Game 3 or 4? I want to say it was Game 4 when Hardaway probably got fouled in the corner on that game-winning shot attempt.
You did get fouled.
Yeah. I mean, refs missed calls.
I didn't watch it live, but I did see obviously
Yeah.
the replay of it.
Could be a lot different series.
But
Just
it's not.
saying.
But it's not.
But yeah, but credit to this young Pistons team for staying alive and giving the Knicks all they can handle. Over to the West, we got the Nuggets. They bounced back from being down 2-1 in the series against the Clippers. Couple of wins in a row. Big one. What was that, last night or the night before? Also, that buzzer beater dunk by Aaron Gordon, Game 4, that was pretty epic.
Shades of NC State Jim Valvano days.
Right.
When they won the championship
Yeah.
and he was
You
running down the court like that.
You don't see someone flush it for the win very often.
No, it was really close. It was insanely close. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Here's that.
Cheers. Insanely close. Like
The crazy thing is, like, when they get it down to the slowest frame by frame, it's 0.1, his hand is touching the ball, and then it's zeros, and his hand is off the ball. Yeah. That's how close it was. Yeah. Pretty wild. And, like, live play, I was not convinced that he got it off, but they slowed it down.
I mean, I know everyone is when it's that close, but, like, he was like...
You can't get any closer.
He was like Bo Jackson running off the field, like, knowing that he got it.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he knew he had it that
he
had it that confidently.
Putting a dunk up with that little time.
Oh, it's ballsy.
Most
people are just kind of tapping that thing.
I mean, I know it's heat of the moment, but like, could he maybe just like presence of mind just to kind of just drop it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird play. Game 6 in that series is going to be tomorrow in LA. You think it's over? You think the Nuggets got it?
Well, here's the thing: is when they were down 2-1, I'm like, yeah, the Clippers are going to make easy work.
They looked pretty good after that Game 3 win was dominant.
You know, I'm going to say, I'm going to stick with my pick. I picked Clippers in 7.
Yeah, I think they got a chance to take it back to Denver.
Yeah.
Honestly, my only thing though is I think Denver's going to win this series, but once again, James Harden going pumpkin mode in the fucking playoffs. What is this? He had a really good Game 1, and his Game 2 was decent.
Death taxes and Harden turned into a pumpkin in the playoffs.
It's
true. Well, it's that, and it's also the Clippers going clip. You know, they're just It's how it works.
So they went to a conference finals,
they did.
Right?
They finally did. I think when Paul George was,
and they lost to the who they lose to? The Suns, right? Was that the same year?
It might have been. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Was that with a hurt Kawhi that year?
No, he played. I think he might have got hurt in that series, actually.
Yeah.
No,
I can't remember specifically.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of like the curse of the Clippers mixed in with the James Harden pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's a really bad combination.
It is. The crazy, like, they were just. I know it's regular season basketball, but it was meaningful basketball down the stretch. That they won a ton of games, and he was playing well. And then what do you know? And he even had, like I said, he had a good Game 1, but since then he's averaging like.
But I will say though, if it is Denver versus OKC in the semis, really interested to see how OKC is going to do with the Jokic down low.
That's going to be, if that comes to fruition, that's going to be an interesting series. It's not going to be a cakewalk for OKC.
Because I don't know if OKC is anybody who could really feel confident they could guard Jokic on any part of the floor. Given Jokic's size.
Yeah, I mean, Hardenstein, they're going to throw Hardenstein at him. Chet's obviously doesn't have the meat on him that you would envision being a defender of Jokic, but they'll throw some things at him.
Yeah.
Hardenstein, actually, I remember him in the regular season getting him a little trouble here and there. Yeah.
Okay.
So
they'll probably they're really well coached and they're a really good team, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I just like how, because to me, OKC is young and they're kind of small,
a little more finesse,
fast, finessey, and the Nuggets are.
Oh, look at Luka.
Well, I was just looking at this fan, like, almost grabbing the ball. I thought he was closer to it.
That was a pretty good job getting out of the way, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of this game, Game 5, Lakers-Wolves. It's a 3-point lead for Minnesota midway through the second quarter. Have you been watching anything on this, Danny?
It started off as almost like a 20-point lead for the Wolves.
Minnesota,
Yeah, Lakers coming back.
Look at this. Look at Rudy trying to... What did he do there?
COVID Rudy.
Are you ready for a Gobert Draymond playoff match?
Dude, it's gonna be sick. I can't wait for another takedown.
Stupid.
We just need Clay back on the team so he can start a fight with McDaniels.
Beer, anybody?
I'll take a brewski.
Can I finish that?
Damn.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
It's my Zen at the bottom of the cup.
Okay.
Is it really?
Glad I didn't finish it for you.
I would have stopped you. I'm not that much of a dick.
Appreciate that.
I guess I'll go Mandelli. I know it's in a can.
It's the best way to drink it, brother. Best way to drink it.
Yeah.
So good, I'm drinking a Coors Light still.
All right, back to basketball. Minnesota, they, of course, took control of this series on Sunday with a nice come-from-behind win, 116-113. Lakers led that game by 10 going into the fourth and 7 with 5 minutes left. Kind of interesting strategy by JJ, emptying the tank with all of his starters. They played every minute of the second half.
That was crazy.
It's the first time it's ever happened in playoff history.
That's pretty wild.
That's
pretty wild.
Yeah, I just don't even know what the thought process was for JJ to do that.
Keep your studs out there. And go.
Well,
But like, you got to get some kind of rest. I know these guys are, you would think, I know maybe not Luka, but they're supposed to be well-conditioned athletes.
right. That was nice.
That was easy.
I'm just saying. But everybody has to rest. Even Steph Curry, who's probably the most well-conditioned athlete in the league.
No, I agree.
You need a couple minutes off.
And even aside from him and LeBron, who are the two best players, obviously, on the team, you would think there's more role player type guys that might, benefit from a change of pace.
Yeah.
You know?
Does it show a little confidence in your bench, though?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think there's talk that was kind of JJ sending a message to Rob Pelinka, like, yo, we need some more help. Like, this team ain't going to cut it.
And to me, I like being petty.
It's a little embarrassing.
That's too petty. Like,
Yeah.
you got too much on the line here. You got a pivotal game, 4 it was, or 3 it was, 4 it was, that you need to win.
Yeah.
This is his first head coaching job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a little bit of a rookie head coach move. Who knows?
I think the other point is that, it's the last time that they're going to get 2 days off between games, maybe for the rest of the playoffs. I mean, they obviously looked like they were on the brink of elimination here, but yeah, they were desperate to even up the series. But yeah, I think it was ultimately the wrong move because they ran out of gas on the stretch.
Exactly. And they lost by a pretty small margin, didn't they?
Yeah, they only lost by 3.
Yeah.
Yep, fumble the bag.
Wait, no, sorry. So, bold prediction.
Oh. Lakers going to win the series?
No.
Got to win this game first.
So, yeah, exactly. So, I think... So I will say Lakers are going to lose this series. I think I think we're all feel pretty confident in that, right?
LeBron's going to retire.
LeBron's going to retire after this series.
No way. That is bold.
I'm going to do it. LeBron James is going to... it's my boy. LeBron James.
My boy.
I might look like Dev with the Cooper Flag pick or bold prediction, but...
LeBron, yeah, it's going to happen in the interview after this game. He's going to announce, I'm coming back.
I would put absolutely no stock into that. I got to see him on the court next year in the Lakers.
He really wants to have one season to be able to play with his boy on the same court.
That's my theory. Is like you're gonna just play 3 months with Luka and call it good. Not even 3 months. Two.
The man is 40. The man is 40. He's gonna see the writing on the wall. This guy's good.
So was Mike Gundy. He was 40, and he was a man.
Stupid.
That was stupid, but I like it. So I'm saying it. LeBron James. LeBron James is gonna retire this offseason.
Yeah, I'm gonna pour this one real high for you.
It's going to be great that you're going to take another shot next week when he announces he's back.
The best part about this prediction is that literally tonight he's gonna get questions about retirement.
No, but I don't. No.
I'm not saying that the answer is going to be completely honest, but I'm just telling you.
And for this bold prediction to not be true, I have to see him on the court game 1 or...
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he says tonight he's coming back, I'd put no stock into it.
Yeah.
If they lose or when they lose the series.
Are you popping champagne next episode when he says he's retiring? we call him that game?
Or you have to wait until next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It goes both ways. Yeah,
Well,
that's fine. No.
No, I feel like...
I'm not giving you shit. I'm just saying.
No, but hear me out.
No.
I feel like if he said anytime retirement, you're like, okay, he's done. Unless
Of course, yeah, more likely than not.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
No, I will give you that.
he could say tonight I'm coming back, and then 3 months later be like,
I'm
gonna
good.
retire.
Yeah. No,
I do see what you guys are
I
saying.
totally see what you're saying, though.
So
No question.
LeBron, you're my boy, but you're done.
He's your boy?
LeBron?
Yeah.
I love LeBron James, bro. Come on.
It's blue. My boy, blue.
Cheers.
I heard he hated you.
I kind of heard something similar.
Well, I don't like the Warriors, so I think he'd like me just based off that.
He loves the Warriors. He's going to go there next
He's
year.
going to go there next year. And he's going to bring Bronny Jr.
How much help does Steph Curry need?
He's going to get Giannis, LeBronis.
Oh my! Yeah, it's gonna be Giannis and LeBronis.
Oh, I was going
And
to
Cooper Flag.
Yeah, I'll save it.
No, don't.
Yeah.
Giannis potential spot I kind of saw a post about. And
Miami?
no.
Indiana?
Sacramento.
Dallas.
Huh?
What? Him and Davis?
Be sick.
Oh,
And Kyrie. And Clay.
And Clay?
Nah, I don't like that at all. I mean, I think on paper it looks sexy, but if you really look in between the lines, I don't love it.
I think you should go to the Wizards.
With Cooper
Just
Flag?
say the Kings, dude.
No, you know where he should go?
Spurs.
Spurs. Thank you. Thank you.
That was another spot,
Hey.
too.
Dude, that would be sick. Him and
Yes.
Wemby?
And then Fox.
And who?
And then they're going to get Cooper Flag in the draft.
Yeah.
They're going to pull Cooper Flag.
Spurs ain't getting Cooper Flag. That'd be cool. But
Are they getting a new coach next year?
Popovich.
Mitch Johnson. He's already there. Stanford alum.
I do think Giannis, that could be, him going to Spurs could be a sneaky,
Would be cooler than the Warriors.
yes, way cooler than the Warriors. If he goes to the Warriors, I'm fucking pissed again. Although, we are officially one day closer to Steph Curry's retirement.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
Although you just added another year by saying that. So we're now 360
I mean,
days.
Steph's probably playing another 2 years, but
He's definitely going to play next year.
Yeah.
He's going to finish out with Jimmy.
yeah.
Well, Jimmy's got 2 more years after this.
Steph's going to play probably 2 or 3 more years, which is fine.
I think two seems pretty safe. Pretty safe. But then if he played a third, I wouldn't be that shocked.
Yeah.
1 is for sure.
Well, I think it was him, Jimmy, and Draymond all have a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
So they're going to finish that contract out and call it Swan Song.
Okay, speaking of the Warriors, they won a chippy game 4 on Monday, 109-106, which I think
We don't care about that. What happened tonight?
which was extremely important because, you know, you give Houston some momentum coming back home in a 2-2 series. We could be talking completely differently right now. Than that.
It's 100% true.
Amazing stop by Draymond and Jimmy to combine for that, you know, game-sealing situation there at the end. But yeah, tonight was a much different story. Rockets were up by as much as like 33 or something like that, and kind of held on at the end. The Warriors reserves, they came in. They made it interesting.
Got me scared a little bit.
They
Got me
definitely
scared a little bit.
They definitely puckered the Rockets up a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I think it kind of matters in a way of like they didn't give the Rockets a ton of satisfaction the way they finished that game.
Yeah. It makes me feel a lot better going into Friday with how they did.
I don't feel so much better about the Warriors necessarily, but I feel better. I feel that the Rockets just aren't going to have the same feeling that they could have if they just kept running the Warriors out of the building the whole game. But, I mean, it is a small thing. It's not, you know, the Warriors are going to have to earn their next win if they can get it.
But here's a potentially big thing that I picked up on. That you had those reserves play basically the second half entirely.
You got some run?
You got some rest.
You got some rest. That was the biggest thing. Because I mentioned it at halftime, right? I was like, if the Warriors can't chip away in those first, 6 minutes of the third quarter, get them out of there and get them a rest. And it'll be like they just had a practice, honestly.
Yeah, it's almost like an extra day off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Of course, at the 2 plane flights in between games, but still, you know.
Like I was telling you, it sucks that, you know, they had such the high of winning game 4. Got to, you know, for them flying to Houston's not a big deal because they all fly private. But you got to fly there. You're kind of hoping, we're going to close these guys out. And you pretty much, they kind of had a little spurt at the end where they look like they're coming back. But they got their asses handed to them.
They did, absolutely.
And now they got to fly back.
Yeah.
Like they're probably already on a plane.
Yeah.
For sure.
Probably 2 hours into the flight.
Yeah. No, it was ugly. I mean, Houston just wasn't missing at first, and the Warriors also got themselves in bad foul trouble really early in the game, and that just made that first quarter a mess.
Yeah.
And then Houston kind of backed it up with another great quarter in the second. So that was pretty much the game.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty confident going into
I'm not totally shook by that at all. I mean, the Warriors missed shots that they can make. And honestly, I got to give credit to the Rockets. They threw a lot of zone at the Warriors, and they couldn't figure it out, especially with Steph off the court. But But yeah, I mean, I think the Warriors will make an adjustment. Steve Kerr made a really interesting point, and I'll go back to like the reasons why I picked the Warriors to win this series. Number one was obviously more experience. I mean, I think that's an easy reason. But the other one was that I felt like that last game the Warriors and Rockets played in the regular season, I felt like the Rockets showed their hand too early.
Yeah.
That was in my mind, and I was like, okay, you're gonna pick up Steph Curry 3/4 court for a 7-game series. Are you you're gonna be able to pull that off?
Yeah.
And I just didn't think that was gonna happen. But Steve Kerr is now. This goes against my theories that, well, he's had to make adjustments in game literally every single game. Mm-hmm. And I think not to over exaggerate this whole thing, but I think he had some of his best coaching games he's had in game 3 and 4 in recent history, anyways. Like just making adjustments and on the fly and whatnot.
The Kiwi hack.
And the Kiwi hack was big. Yeah, the Warriors have literally no answer for Steven Adams.
They do have an answer.
Yeah.
Get him out of the game.
Yeah, but that's got to be obviously very situational.
Yeah.
I think the game 6 could be all-time chippy.
Oh, it's gonna be wild.
Because I mean, obviously the Rockets have to have it.
Yeah.
The Warriors, I don't say need to have it, but I don't think you guys want to go after just what happened tonight. Go back to Houston for a game 7.
No, because the Rockets would have every ounce of momentum.
Because if this game's gonna be all-time chippy, which I think it could be, what do you think game 7 would be in Houston if the Rockets win on Saturday?
It'd be wild.
Or no, Friday.
Yeah, it'd be wild.
Hey, E Ford is going to be there. He's going to get some boys with him all front row. Intimidation factor.
Mr. Fab, too. Don't even think about it.
Because, I mean, the Rockets, like, Ime Udoka is probably talking to the guys right now, being like, we got to play the ugliest game of our lives.
Oh, 100%. They're going to try and get Draymond thrown out of the game, for sure.
Have to.
Yeah.
They have to do everything they can. Like, they even got under Steph Curry, or they made Steph Curry even get a technical, which is, like, rare for him to do, which I know Danny didn't like the call.
I thought it was a little soft.
It's something that is warranted in today's NBA for a technical foul.
You throwing that at a guy or the shove?
Steph looking at Dylan Brooks and saying that's two fouls you have so far. That's taunting.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, if Dylan Brooks doesn't respond, I think it's nothing, right? You're not going to give a guy a technical for just doing that, and no one does anything about it.
That's fair.
I think.
But could you give Dylan Brooks credit for actually? I don't know if he meant to do this, but
Dylan Brooks is Dylan Brooks.
Yeah. Do you think he thought in the moment, like, if I make a big deal out of this, Steph could get a tech out of this? Or is it just Dylan Brooks being Dylan Brooks?
I'm not going to give him that much credit, but it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's possible.
I know it's a stretch, but guys doing 3 after a 3-pointer shot, is that?
But they don't do it in guys' faces.
I mean, if you did it to a guy like this, it might be different.
Yeah, exactly.
Did Steph do this
that's
in his face? Steph was laying on the ground.
Steph looked at him dead in the eye.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was soft. It wasn't like he was like getting in his face. Yeah. He just was like, "That's too big."
It's like when guys dunk on other guys and they yell at their face. That's always a tech.
It gets passed over though. It gets passed over. I wouldn't say it's 100%.
But I didn't mind that call as much as Draymond's technical on that same play.
Yeah.
When he was trying to be the peacemaker.
Yeah. I don't know that he was trying to be a peacemaker. He was just trying to tell Brooks to get the fuck out of here.
But he didn't push him hard. He just kind of put his hand get away.
I think that one was more who you are and who you've been.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which I think is unfair for Draymond, but it's just the fact.
That's just the way it is. I mean, he's earned it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. And like his flagrant later in the game, not that it really matters because the Warriors still end up winning, but that was kind of weird. Like he's been known to be the guy that try to make things look like an accident, you know. Oh, yeah. And so I don't think he gets any benefit of it.
Look, I thought if anything, he was getting a call for pulling the dude's jersey down.
That could have been part of it. I don't know.
They gave it to him for the kick.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that, but
yeah,
that one made more sense to me than the first one. That's my only take.
Yeah.
I didn't like.
I mean, also we're not on the court, so there could be like verbal things that go into it as well.
Well, it's just like what happened tonight when we didn't see your boy Pat Spencer headbutt Şengün.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't see that until he showed us a different angle. We're like, oh, shit, that actually happened. Right. There's so many things that we don't see because obviously we're watching on TV. But I think even if you were at the game, it's probably hard to see that kind of stuff. You know?
And just to go back to it for a second, for the Draymond, the first one, no one ever said what he did. Yeah. They just said he got technical.
Yeah.
They didn't say why.
So did they announce why Steph did too?
So he... Say it again?
Did they announce why Steph got a technical?
He got a technical because he looked at Dylan Brooks and
But did they say that?
I think
they gave him a taunting. They gave him a taunting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have volume when I was at work.
I mean, I don't know what else it would be.
Yeah.
No, they said taunting.
Yeah.
But that's I was just kind of trying to make a point
Yeah.
for Danny.
So Draymond, he got a tech and he got 2 flagrants or 1 flagrant.
One flagrant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Because if you got 2 flagrants, you'd be out of the game.
yeah, exactly. Okay.
I was also wondering, because I don't know that I've ever seen it where a guy gets 1 technical in the game and then also another flagrant, if those combine for an ejection or not.
I think
They do not.
But obviously, they do not.
Well,
I just never seen it.
And I was listening to the radio today, and even some of the guys that were on the radio were saying that they thought Draymond was ejected. Because the way he was like sat on the bench,
And he
put
just-
his pullover on,
yeah,
and it looked like he thought he might have been ejected.
I kind of was wondering until he just sat down. Once he sat down, I was like, okay, he's not ejected
he had-
because
he
they
had
would
to
text you
actually
out.
leave, yeah.
Yeah, you have to go to the locker room.
But even like his demeanor, he wasn't like still talking shit. Like he almost seemed like he knew he was like did something wrong or was in the wrong.
Right. Well, I think Steve Kerr was also like, I got to get this motherfucker out of the game before he gets himself ejected.
Yeah.
Because it could happen on the next play.
Hey, we'll go on that last play with 5 fouls on you, not picking up another foul,
Yeah.
and stopping.
Yeah. The
That
fact
was
that he got
great.
through the whole fourth quarter without getting himself kicked out.
He knows that he can do it.
Yeah, it's just hard. I mean, he plays really aggressive defense.
Well, and also he knows when he has the fouls to spare that
Yeah.
he can be a little bit more aggressive.
For sure. Of
So,
course. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and that's why I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to give Draymond a round of applause for getting the Hustle Award.
Yeah.
The Hustle Award
He was a
for
hustler.
Draymond Green. Because Evan Mobley won Defensive Player of the Year.
He did.
Draymond didn't even get second. He got third.
Third.
Did he really?
Yeah, it
So he
was
finished
third.
behind, what's the guy from Atlanta, right?
I believe so.
I forget his name. Dyson Daniels.
And I heard that if Draymond would have won Defensive Player of the Year this year, he would have been the oldest winner of the award.
That doesn't surprise me. He's 35 now.
I guess it
34?
surprised me a little bit, but
36.
I mean, that is long in the tooth.
Yeah.
I think maybe like Hakeem Olajuwon won it when he was, like,
Older.
Yeah, 34 or something like that. A little surprising because, being from here and being on Twitter, that is people that are like from around here. You see-
Right.
people are like, oh, Draymond's going to win it. Like, no chance. Like, so hearing that he got third was surprising to me because I was like, oh, man, I thought he was.
Yeah,
like,
because I think he still went into the voting as the betting
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Evan Mobley, I guess, has been really good this year. And I think the Cavs are the best defensive team this season. So I think that kind of
Yeah, it makes sense.
helps his cause.
Yeah. I got a question for you guys about the way the game is officiated in the playoffs versus the regular season, and do you like that it's different? Or do you dislike that it's different? Because it's clearly different.
Yeah.
Because even that foul that Jimmy Butler had on Dylan Brooks at the end of the half the other day, where he basically fucking tackled him from behind, and didn't get a flagrant one, just a common foul.
I was surprised about that too because given how they were just chirping at each other
Just before that?
5 minutes before
Yeah.
that probably.
Yeah.
Except when that happened, I was like, oh, that's going to be a technical.
Yeah.
But then I feel like for me watching the replay, it looked like Dylan Brooks sold it a little bit.
Fine, but I still think the act of getting a guy from behind like that, I think every day of the year in the regular season, that's a flagrant, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was my feeling.
I don't mind it. It's always been this way, so I don't want it to change. I do understand what you like. I do understand probably from what you're saying is just keep it consistent no matter what game you're playing.
That's where I'm at. I don't mind. To be honest, less fouls the better, as long as it's reasonable, right? But I just don't like that it's so much different. These brush fouls in the regular season are fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I don't need that, but I don't need guys getting away with shit that they shouldn't at the same time.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's so much different, I feel like is a little weird.
See, I kind of disagree with your take that I feel like, at least in this series, it's been way more strict than in the regular season.
I
feel like they're pulling
I think in this series, probably in particular, it's
maybe I'm biased to this series.
I
but
just feel like I watch a lot of when they slow things down, there's a lot of contact that they're not calling that would almost always be a foul during the regular season.
yeah. Well, could you say maybe they care about it so much more in these games because these games count so much more than the regular season games?
You talking about players
or
or
plays
just in
or
general?
fouls, like that kind of thing, like reviews.
I mean, yeah, for sure. But I just don't I think it's, to me, it just feels very, and even watching other games, not just the Warriors and Rockets, there's stuff that defensive players are getting away with.
But it is funny because I would like to know from a referee standpoint when you go to we'll call it referee school, right?
Sure, yeah.
When they do they teach you hey, so game 25 on a Wednesday between the Hawks and the Jazz, the fouls don't mean the same as it does for a Game 7 of the conference finals.
Right.
Like, is that what they say? You know,
I could see it being
because
more-
it is different.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could see it being
And
a
that's your
message
point.
from the commissioner's office, like, we want these playoffs to be, legit basketball, for lack of a better term, street ball, or closer to that than what we see in the regular season. I don't get why it would be that way, but there has to be some kind of message that's being said.
Well, and, I'm not going to say anything's fixed. I don't think that's the case.
I was going to bring that up, that ref back in the day.
Donahue or whatever?
Donahue,
Yeah.
So I don't think it's fixed, but I think, could it be they want the ratings to be as best as they can, like be as dramatic as they can?
I mean, I think that's there's something there. Yeah,
a little bit.
I do. I like they want, because the average fan is more likely to tune in during the playoffs, and so they don't want the game to be.
Yeah, they don't care about Hawks Jazz.
They don't need the
They don't
sideshow.
care about Game 25 Hawks Jazz.
They don't need the sideshow that happens during the NBA regular season.
What they care about is Lakers Timberwolves pivotal Game 5 in the first round.
Yeah, and they want. I think as much as anything, they want to see the best players earn their wins and their buckets and all that, and everything that goes into it. I just don't see why that can't be the way it is all the time. I mean, I think this postseason's been extremely entertaining. We're not even through the first round yet.
Yeah, I know.
But why can't this be this way all the time? Right?
Yeah.
That's my TED Talk.
I agree.
Oh, we need to do contender rankings. You have
yes.
yours ready?
Yes.
Shit, I forgot to put that on here, but thank God I remembered.
No, I think I was going to mention it
Yeah.
because I noticed it wasn't on here. You want me to go first?
Actually, before we do it, I'll update everyone
yes.
on the standings we have in our picks. So
Sorry,
far.
Danny, you're not included in this.
Yeah.
Hopefully, no hard feelings.
Yes.
Pissed. We gotta get that on a button. I'm mad at you for being mad at me for nothing. Pissed.
Is that
Pauly D.
Jersey Shore?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
So it's a tight race so far. There's only 4 of the 8 series in the books, but Gage, you and Dev are tied for the lead with 6 points. Me and Sal in a close second place tie, or third place tie, if you will, with 5 points.
Okay.
But I need the Warriors to win on Friday, and that will be a big swing game for me. Mm-hmm. Sal, if he can get Denver, that'd be a big swing for him.
If he had Denver in 6?
He's the only one who has Denver, yeah. And yeah, he could get that bonus point if they win the next game. The other one's in flux. Everyone took the Lakers. I took the Lakers in 5.
Whew.
So if they lose tonight, that's a
couple minus points
That's a
for you?
double whammy for me.
What, I have Lakers in 6?
You had Lakers in 6. Everyone, you and Sal had Lakers in 6. Dev had Lakers in 7. Excuse me.
I mean, that's, as of right now, that's her. That's what she needs.
Yeah.
That's the only case scenario for her is Lakers in 7 at this point.
Another one that's up in the air still is obviously Knicks and Pistons, and
See, I feel good about me. See, I need my Knicks.
Everyone has the Knicks in 6 except for me. I have Detroit in 6, which can't happen. So I just need Detroit to find a way to pull one out of their ass.
Because you're not going to get any minus points.
Not going to get any minus points,
get...
but I could lose big. Like if the Knicks win the next game, you guys get 2 points, and I get 0. Yeah. So
is that game at MSG?
no, it's in Detroit.
Ooh, okay.
So,
okay.
I got a chance.
Little Caesars Arena.
At the very least, I need the Pistons to force against.
Exactly. Just to make everyone sweat. Right?
And then I also need the Warriors to win on Friday.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
The Warriors won. You're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
You're looking pretty good.
Got a chance. All right. April 30th.
April 30th.
Contender rankings. You want to go first?
Yeah.
Do it.
So my top 3 is the same as it was 2 weeks ago. I have OKC at 1, Celtics at 2, Cavs at 3. These rankings for me become a lot easier when the playoffs get further down the line.
Definitely more.
Which I would think makes sense.
Yeah.
So my 4 is switched. I had Lakers 2 weeks ago. I have the Warriors this week. After tonight, After tonight, this doesn't really change my point of view because it was just sometimes teams have stinkers.
Yeah.
They're still in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
They're still going home Game 6. I would, if I was a gambling man, I would put money on the Warriors to win that game. I'm going to put in, I guess I could have changed this after, what did they play yesterday? Clippers, Nuggets?
That was last night. Last night. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So who's 4 for you?
The Warriors.
Oh, Warriors 4. Oh,
OKC,
okay.
Celtics, Cavs, Warriors. I mean, I had Clippers in my 5 spot, but now I don't feel good about that, so I might... Yeah, I mean, I got to cross that out. So
Okay.
I think I'm going to go Nuggets.
Okay.
I'm going to go Nuggets. Nuggets at 5. I'm going to go Knicks at 6. And then I think I'm going to go... I'll go Clippers at... No, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go T-Wolves at 7. I'm going to go Clippers.
Clippers 8.
Clippers 8. So one more time. I'll go Thunder, Celtics, Cavs, Warriors, Nuggets, Knicks, T-Wolves, Clippers.
Got it.
Don't love it.
So that's 8 teams they got right now? Is that right?
Yeah.
They count that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the most I've had since we started doing this.
I have 8 teams also, which I had last week, or 2 weeks ago, rather. I do have big changes. My top 2 are the only thing that's really the same. We got Celtics and Thunder, still 1-2. Back up to number 3 is the Cavs, after obviously a dominant series victory over Miami. Obviously, I had the Lakers at number 3. Lakers are no longer on my list. I'm out of them, as you are, and they're on the brink of going out. Coming in at number 4, I'm first time I've had them on my list all year. I got the Wolves at number 4.
Okay.
I think they look pretty dangerous, honestly. Like they look like a conference finals caliber team. At 5, I moved the Nuggets back up after looking a little sluggish going into the playoffs. But they have control of their series right now against Clippers. Got the Warriors at number 6. Obviously, they're still in the driver's seat, but they still got to finish that series off. And I think if the Warriors play the Wolves in the next round, it's advantage Minnesota. In my mind right now. Things could change.
Home court. The Warriors will not have home court for the rest of the playoffs.
Exactly. Coming in number 7, got the Indiana Pacers up from number 8.
Who is not on my list.
I think they're sneaky, dude. I think they're going to give the Cavs a run. I do not think that's going to be a cakewalk for Cleveland at all. And that was one of the ones I nailed in the right amount of games.
Yeah.
I did keep the Clippers at number 8 reluctantly. I still think they have a chance, but Jack-o'-lantern boy, James Harden's going to have to stop being that if they want to win these next 2 games. But Kawhi gives them a fighting chance for sure. But they got to. Honestly, the last game when Jamal Murray dropped 40, whatever, is that going to happen again?
Yeah,
it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, he's hot and cold.
Hot and cold for sure. So
Katy Perry, shout out.
exactly, good call, Danny. So I think the Clippers still got a shot. So I'll give them a fighter's chance. But
Danny, what about you? You don't have to give us a full 7 or 8 team, but you want to do a 3.
Yeah, who's your favorites to win the whole thing?
Maybe top
right
4,
now?
top 5.
Or who's going to go to the finals right now?
I think your 2 are right on. Celtics, OKC.
Yeah. Because you have Thunder number 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also say the finals will be Thunder Celtics.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Best chance.
I'll just go off your list. Maybe I'll move the Warriors Nuggets, put Warriors at 5, Nuggets at 6.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not sure about the Pacers.
I think the Pacers are really interesting. They went to the conference finals last year.
Yeah.
But
I do forget about that.
It's a different year. I mean,
for your list, I didn't expect the Nuggets. They are who they are, but when they made that late season coaching change,
oh yeah, I
thought they were done
Yeah.
at that point. So maybe they'll bite them in the butt later, but
very possible. I mean, if after Game 3, like we talked about, I thought they were done at that point.
Yeah.
And then they came back at that crazy win in Game 4, and then they dominated. On I guess last night that was. Who's got the best chance to beat the Celtics in the East? Do you think? Is it obviously the Cavs?
yeah, I mean, after that dominant win in Miami, that's huge. I know Celtics aren't the Heat. It's
Right.
a completely different team. But
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it has to be. I think
Right.
it's gonna be the Cavs.
I mean,
2 young teams, I'm saying.
I think it's safe to say that the conference finals is going to be Celtics Cavs for the East.
I think.
The
I think that's definitely what it's on track to be.
I think the West, you could pencil in the Thunder. I feel pretty confident about that.
Yeah.
Do not know who they're going to play though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me if it was the Warriors. Wouldn't shock me if it was the Nuggets.
But you do say that thinking, the Nuggets.
Or not the Nuggets, but it wouldn't shock me if it was the Timberwolves.
Yeah, but Nuggets Thunder is going to be an interesting series if that's the case. Even Nugget or Thunder and Clippers would be interesting.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest reason I think I have the Thunder definitively below the Celtics, because I think their path to even get to the finals is going to be much tougher.
Yeah. That's fair. The Thunder is resting right now.
Yeah, they're chilling.
They're just chilling. But that's always what we've always talked about. Rest versus rust.
That's right.
Which is it both?
Do you want a little of neither?
Yeah.
The Thunder?
Sometimes I think that rust.
I'm chilling.
I'm chilling.
Sometimes I think that rust does come.
It can come into play, especially
Yeah.
like early on in the series. I think once it gets going, it's you can write that off. But yeah, first game, maybe 2.
I'm just saying, like, sitting for so long.
Yeah, for 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the sport that it's the worst in. Not to go on a tangent, but the sport that rust is the worst in is baseball. 100%. Because it's not like a high energy sport like basketball where rest actually really helps to kind of get the muscles back in check. You got staying sharp in baseball is really difficult. Yeah.
And they're still making Final Destination movies. They're still making these movies.
It's been a long time since they made one, though.
Has
that now?
Has it?
Yeah.
This might be the reason why every time I get on an airplane, I think I'm gonna fucking blow up. Because the first movie did that. Seriously, every time I get on the plane, I'm like, this is gonna happen to me.
You don't think there's going to be snakes on the plane?
I mean, is it crazy to say I feel safer with Is it crazy to say I feel safer with snakes on a plane than fucking it blowing up?
Snakes was just
Because if there's snakes on a plane, and we're gonna get to a question,
we could survive.
You could survive.
Yeah.
If the plane blows up, you're dead.
But let's say there's like 100 snakes, a couple hundred snakes on a plane. I'd rather the plane just fucking blow up
Yeah,
than try and survive.
Yeah. I mean, couldn't you, in theory, just okay?
We're gonna make this last call right now. Continue.
It's last call.
Yeah.
Because if there's 100 snakes on a plane, they're eventually gonna get, unless you land quickly, to the flyer of the plane. Because if you get venom on him, if you get you're fucked because you're gonna crash.
Yeah.
So you just gotta hope that door's locked. Really tight.
Real tight.
I'd just go in the bathroom unless it was already taken.
It
I maybe
could
try
be
to
taken quickly.
I maybe try to hide in one of the carry-on.
What if the snakes come through the toilet though? Hosed.
What, are they coming through the bottom now? Where are the snakes coming from?
For wherever.
I've never seen snakes on a plane.
I haven't watched it all the way through, but it's fucking
I think I
stupid.
did when I first
Is
came out.
it's not Denzel, it's
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel, yeah.
I'm tired of these
motherfucking
motherfucking snakes on
this
this motherfucking plane.
Yeah. Classic.
I've never seen it. Maybe I should watch it.
I've never watched it all the way through, but I've seen kind of the end where it gets
Have we seen Anaconda with Ice Cube? I've never seen that.
It's a
either.
great movie. No, you've never seen that?
I've never seen
No, it's actually a good movie.
Is it good or is it great?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Is it awesome?
What would you rate out of 5 stars?
95.
Okay, so
Out of 500? It's a 0.95.
how good is it? Seriously.
It's cheesy, but it's...
Isn't J-Lo in that movie too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And John Voight.
We all know John Voight's best movie performance though. Holes.
Dig it up. Dig.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
Last call.
Last call.
Do you guys want to take a shot with me?
Yeah, I'll take one more.
Nice. Danny?
I was wondering what you were sitting with the shot for.
Well, I was just going to take one because you guys are
I thought it was like a bold prediction
He was
shot that
doing
you're sitting on.
he was doing the Garrett Nahio. He's letting it rest.
sitting on it.
He's letting
Letting
it
it
rest.
age a little bit.
Letting it age a little bit. That's the Garrett staple.
Letting it
He
oxidize.
literally he would pour it at Dover, walk away for 10 minutes, and then come back to it. You gotta respect it. Do you know that one, Danny?
Oh, what's going on behind me?
You good? You cool? Oh, you're cool.
You are pretty cool.
Are you cool? But are you cool?
Songman, cool. Dude.
So man.
F1 in Miami this weekend. Whoop you freaking do.
Whoop-de-doo, Basil.
Also,
Am I gonna watch?
Probably not.
Probably not.
It's on too.
Actually, well, no, it's not.
it's going to be on midday.
Miami will be on.
Oh, yeah.
Miami will be on.
I'd be interested to see what that start time is. Probably noonish, if I had to guess.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's this Sunday, right?
I'll be watching real racing.
Yeah, there's
NASCAR. In Texas.
which I got screwed.
Good.
You always do.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Taking Bush out.
Cheers to last call and cheers to Danny for
Yeah, thanks for joining us, brother. How about your Kings?
My Kings, they signed Doug Christie to a multi-year deal as being the head coach. I don't
Two,
love.
three? Two?
Yeah, it's not whatever. Doesn't matter.
He's been elevated.
I don't love it at all. I think it's cool for him because he played for the Kings and that whole thing.
He's got the ties.
But when he became the coach after they fired Mike Brown, which was probably a mistake, I was like, oh, this is just going to be an interim, and this will not be the head coach for the future.
Yeah.
And I was wrong.
Well, then they went on a little heater at
That's
first.
what I was going to say. They started going on a tear when he came
Well,
in.
And then it really turned around the other way, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So he must be good with the players, and I don't trust the owner for the Kings. At this
he
point.
seems a little suspect.
Seems a little suspect.
This offseason for the Kings is going to be interesting, at the very least.
Oh my god!
KD?
They have a bunch of Jags, a bunch of Jags on the team. They need a guy, and you know what? Hate to break it to the Kings, they had a guy. I'm not going to go on a tangent, but they had a guy.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton.
They had two guys.
Buddy Hield.
Fucking it, they had two guys.
Buddy Hield.
They could be right now.
Harrison Barnes?
I liked Harrison Barnes.
Dude, the Kings have an all-time former team.
Well, right now they're essentially the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls West.
I feel like the way their franchise is, it's not like a pretty destination for any big name.
I agree. I think it's a really tough spot for a big name to be like, you know what, I want to play in Sacramento, California.
Like, they got to be winning to, really make that happen.
Yeah. Because even like for the Warriors, they were shitty for a long time, but at least you're still like in a decent market being, at the time, Oakland, now San Francisco.
The Bay Area's got a little
Bay
more
Area's
draft.
got, a big, tie to it. Sacramento's kind of tough. Like, I don't want the Kings to ever leave Sacramento. If they ever did, I'd still follow them, whatever the name or the city would be. But I just don't. Like you said, Danny, perfect point. They're going to struggle to always get big names unless they start winning championships and actually make a name for themselves.
Yeah. They're obviously one of those teams. You look at the way the Warriors built themselves. It was through the draft. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't bringing in a ton of free agents. I mean, Iguodala and then eventually KD are two different exceptions, but they were already winning.
Well, because I would put it's different now, but I would have put Oakland on that too. Like, not a pretty destination.
Yeah.
Oakland's a little different because you can kind of like mask Oakland with like, okay, we have the Bay Area around it.
Yeah.
Like there's other. You don't have to live in Oakland.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I think, like, as of right now, like what Oklahoma City's doing right now, and they've already been to the finals, had MVPs play for their team, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like if they win it this year, because who wants to go to Oklahoma City and play basketball? Probably not a lot of people.
Yeah, it's not on anyone's.
But I guarantee if they win a championship or when they do in the future, because I think it's going to get to that point, they're going to start getting the free agents to say, you know what, I know they play in Oklahoma, but I think I like what they're doing. They're winning.
Yeah.
And I want to play for them.
Yeah.
I think that's what the Kings need to do, or at least try to go deep playoff runs, conference finals. I'm not even asking for a championship anytime soon, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think that's what.
Just be competitive.
That's what. Yeah, you got to be competitive and go deep in the playoffs if you want a big name or people to play for you.
Right.
You know.
Or until they move back to Seattle. Bold prediction. Just kidding.
I mean, if they became the Sonics, it'd be funny.
Yeah.
It'd be funny.
Well, Supersonics. Put
Supersonics.
some respect on the name, dude.
You're right.
The Kings were extremely close to making it work because they had that funny thing where they actually did do draft and develop pretty well for a short time where they had Fox, but they also had Halliburton. Those guys played the same position. Yeah. They traded Halliburton for Sabonis.
Was he? No, he was a trade.
Yeah.
He wasn't a draft.
Correct. Yeah, they traded Halliburton for Sabonis, and on paper it looked good and it worked for a little while. The window was too short to maximize it. I don't really blame Fox for wanting to go somewhere else. You know,
No, I don't either.
It's nothing
It's
against
tough.
the Kings, but I don't blame him.
Well, and also you gotta. I'll always go back to this: picking Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic in the draft.
Well, they've had plenty of their failures. I mean,
And a lot of
go back
teams
to
have.
Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and anybody, you know. But
Fair.
But yeah. So they kind of probably have to restart. It sucks, but they do. Yeah.
Like if I don't know, I forget what the contract negotiation or situation is with when it comes to DeMar and Zach LaVine, but if they both left, I'd just be like,
it would be nothing lost for them.
I'd just be like, we gotta start over.
Yeah.
Like the Kings are gonna be.
But even if you kept either one of those guys, it's not going to be.
You're still gonna be a perennial playing team.
Yeah, it'd be very average at best.
Yeah, you're gonna be a 8, 9, 10 seed.
Yeah.
Or 7, 8, 9, 10 when the 6th seed is like what you really want to try to secure that.
Right.
So
Shaq's moving to Sac.
Yeah, a lot of Sac news.
Good transition.
A lot of Sac news.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaq's going to join Sac State as the GM of his basketball program.
This is
I don't understand what that means in a college setting.
It's a very funny new trend. So I feel like the first one I ever heard about it was when Woj went to go to...
I think it's his alma mater?
Yeah, but I can't remember what the school is.
I can't remember what it is either.
Anyways, and then now Andrew Luck's the GM of Stanford football. So I think it's this new trend of like there's basically like a face of the specific sport program at a school, so that there's someone. It's I'm probably taking pressure off the athletic director in a way to be and the coach.
Does that come with more of the LIV or not LIV, but the money
NIL stuff?
NIL.
I think that's probably a big factor because you're
you
having
have to pick who you want to
yeah,
pay.
and the transfer portal too, because that's such an important part of recruiting now.
Yeah.
It's not just NIL. The transfer portal is insane.
You went to St. Bonaventure University?
That's the one. Yep. And they have a basketball program that makes a tournament every once in a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's cool for Shaq, and his son is playing for Sac State.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
He was already there.
His son, I believe, yeah. I think the reason why Shaq is part of the program right now is because his son has either already been playing there or is
He's
starting
already
to play.
committed, yeah.
Is Shaq going to take him to a March Madness tournament?
Are they D1? Do we know if Sac State's D1?
I think they are in basketball, but they're going to move to D1 football pretty soon, either next year or the year after.
Well, you gotta love the Shaq, Mike Bibby, who is now the Sac State men's basketball
Gotta
coach
love it.
connection,
Gotta
given the
love it.
Lakers Kings, what they went through in the early 2000s.
You think Mike Bibby's handing out steroids in the locker room?
Bibby's yoked, dude?
Dude, he's natural.
He's a unit.
He's
natty.
He's natty.
He's natty. I saw that Sac State already like snagged some top like transfer portal guy.
All right.
Yeah, from UCF.
Are they start lighting the beam in Sacramento State?
Light it.
You have to do that. I will say,
Luka Doncic.
I guess you're not playing for him, but having an opportunity to be in a program with Shaq would be pretty cool.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
Mike Bibby, he had a solid.
And Mike Bibby, yeah.
Solid debut. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
Shaq's an all-timer.
Yeah.
I think Bibby.
But also Shaq's personality and presence.
Yeah, Shaq is.
He's probably one of my favorite athletes of all time, just because I love, the dude's cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
him and JaVale McGee, big buds.
JaVale McGee? What?
You know about their beef?
No.
Because JaVale McGee was a perennial Shaqtin' the Fool,
yeah, he was like the Shaqtin' champion
and
for
then
years.
it became personal. Anyways, I do think like this whole new GM of the basketball program shit is also a big recruiting tactic.
It
Just like-
confused me at first, because
Yeah.
it's obviously not like a GM, like a pro
Well, and
sports.
I also question how much Shaq's going to be able to do this job, because obviously he's doing the TNT thing, which is going to be ESPN soon.
Yeah.
I see him on every other commercial. Does this guy even have time to do this job?
No, I really do think that this whole thing is more of like
He's like the face.
it's a face thing.
Mm,
His involvement is going to be
Hey,
and then he has
barbecue chicken.
he's gonna have somebody doing it probably for him, and like an assistant who does a lot.
Yeah, his involvement is going to be in recruiting more than anything, and he's just going to go on trips here and there. He's not going to take away from what he does for TNT
But-
or anybody
Hey, man,
else.
come play for
It is hilarious that Shaq, even before his son went to Sac State, I think he had ownership in the Kings. Like for some reason,
He did, yeah.
For some reason, he really likes Sacramento.
I guess, yeah.
Sacktown, baby.
Well, he must see something in it that a lot of other people don't.
What?
It's a major city and it's the capital of California,
Yeah.
but like it's not like. I mean, no one would put Sacramento with like San Francisco, L.A.
I'm gonna say most people outside
San Diego.
of California don't even know that Sacramento's the capital.
Capital,
I think most people in California know this capital of California.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
But
Oh, okay. So outside. Sorry, I thought you meant outside. Okay, sorry. I misheard what you said. That's probably true because I don't know the capital of.
North Dakota? What is it?
I don't know.
Me neither.
You guys don't know?
What is it?
Look it up, dude.
I got a theory about Shaq in Sacramento.
Okay. Sacramento.
Sacramento.
He's gonna change the name soon.
Fucking can't wait.
TM.
Is that He's trying to give back to the community after
they just dogged the Kings.
after they dogged the Kings, and also they kind of stole one from the Kings in the Western Conference Finals.
Kind of. The Kings should be.
They got robbed.
The Kings should have been the 0-2 NBA champs.
They got robbed.
They did.
Just throwing it out there.
Are we gonna start calling it Shaq State?
Speaking of Donergy.
Are we gonna start calling it Shaq State?
I can't wait. Yeah, review that, Luca.
Was Jason Williams on that team?
Oh yeah, white chocolate.
Was he on that 0-2 Kings team?
Oh, on that team
yeah.
specifically, I can't confirm that.
I don't think he was.
He actually might have been after, right?
I think he was after.
Yeah.
I'll look it up real quick.
But Bibbs, fucking Chris Webber, Bobby Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Vladdy, that's right, former Laker. Oh, he's quick on it. 0-2
So,
Kings.
so would it be 01-02 or 02-03?
I think 01-02, right?
Yeah.
Just you can see that
Oh, yeah,
they lost to the Lakers right there. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
I would have just Googled Jason Williams and see what years he played
Yeah,
with the
that's
Kings.
He wants to see the whole roster though.
No, Jason Williams is not on that team.
Give me the key names though.
Mike Bibby, Doug Christie, Vlade Divac, Bobby Jackson, Peja Stojakovic,
Yeah, Peja.
Chris Webber, Hito Turkoglu.
That's a
Yeah.
young Hito.
Yeah.
How old was he?
Oh.
Does it say? And it should say at least how many years he had been in the league.
He was born in 79 up to that.
What's it says like experience or something like that?
He
How
was
many
born
years?
in '79.
It was his first year.
First year.
Yeah. And also, what? Gerald Wallace was on that team.
Yeah,
As a
he was
rookie.
on the Kings. Yeah.
Oh, no, so I think that was Turkoglu's second year. Because,
Because it would say R if it was.
Yeah,
if
so
it was
Gerald Wallace
rookie.
was a rookie.
Yeah.
And Turkoglu was
Second year.
Wow.
That's funny.
I didn't know Gerald Wallace on that team.
I remember he was on the Kings. I mean, I don't remember watching him on the Kings, but
Wow. That's funny.
Gerald Wallace was he an All-Star at one point?
Let's see. I always remember him on the Bobcats.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
Bobcats.
Him. And
Because
like,
I had,
when
like-
Steven Jackson left the
Yeah.
Warriors. He went to the Bobcats.
Because I
and
think
they
I
were
had
playing together.
like NBA lot. I had
Charlotte?
yeah Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then
Charlotte
they
Bobcats.
folded.
Yeah.
or
I
they
had
became
he was a one-time All-Star. He was all defensive team in 2009,
Nice.
2010. I remember him on the Bobcats like an NBA Live 09 because I had that video game.
Oh, yeah.
And I think him and Adam Morrison were on
Yeah.
Morrison.
Gonzaga's finest.
Yeah. I always
Crying-
remember when they lost.
Crying on the court.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god, I forgot about that. His dirty ass mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Super
And, like,
long hair.
Well, it was like a Beatles mop top.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, I loved Adam Morrison because, like, let's face it, I liked basketball at the time. I was white, and it's like it's someone that you could kind of compare yourself to. Like, okay, this is cool, and then he just didn't.
He-
Hey, he's-
That was kind of JJ Redick for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, two-time champion Adam Morrison
That's right.
for the Lakers, or at least one-time champion. I think it was both, a back-to-back. He was on the bench, but
Yeah, I don't remember if he was on both teams or not, but it definitely won. Yeah.
a ring's a ring.
Rings a ring.
rings a ring.
Hey, Niners extended George Kittle 4 more years.
Don't touch me.
Signed through
That's-
2029.
How old is George Kittle?
He is 31. Not as old as you think.
Okay.
So he'll be 36 when the contract's over.
He's the face of the Niners.
Niner for life. I'm all in on it. He's still productive. Obviously, there's going to be at least a year, maybe two, of this contract that is, could be a waste. But
Yeah.
it's good to keep the core, some of the core around.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go, Danny, I gotta ask you.
Tell me.
I gotta ask
Ask
you.
me. Ask me. Hurry.
Clock ticking.
100 men versus one gorilla. Who wins?
Hey, Buddy Hield versus 100 apples.
100 gorillas versus 2007 Chris Benoit.
2007 Chris Benoit didn't give a fuck in his life anymore.
Okay, but going back to the original one, would you 100 men or one gorilla?
I've seen this thing. I didn't really look into it. I don't know.
Is this something that came back around? Wasn't this like floating around like a year ago or so?
I don't remember.
I think it was.
I think a gorilla would take out 100 men. Maybe not easily, but they would do it. The gorilla would do it.
Like, do you get to just use the
Yeah.
resources around you?
To me,
'Cause I think 100 men can outsmart a gorilla.
I would agree with that, but I don't like no guns. No, like I guess you could use sticks.
And rocks and things.
I guess you could.
And
To
rocks
me,
and
it's more of
things?
like a fist fight, wrestle fight. If I take a guess, I just wouldn't. I mean, the gorilla's not going to.
Yeah, if it's only hands, like no weapons or anything, it'd be tough for the
I would tip my cap to the first guy to go up to it because that's like being on the front line of Vietnam.
Oh,
you're going down.
What kind of men are we talking about? Like Brock Lesnar out there?
We'll say 100 Giannis Antetokounmpos. How about that?
I'll give Giannis a chance.
I'd take 100 Giannis's.
Yeah.
What about
100 us's? No.
Yeah, 100 us is no.
100 Brock Lesnar's?
Brock? Yeah.
Shit, give him 20.
No fingernails. No fingernails though.
No fingernails. Mike Tyson?
I can't remember the...
You get the bite?
Would you rather...
This is getting out of control.
Sorry. Would you rather fight, I think it was a grizzly bear...
Oh, like a small grizzly bear.
A small grizzly bear with no...
Claws?
Or Brock Lesnar with no fingernails. I'm fucked either way, but
That's funny.
yeah. So what do you think? 100 men or a gorilla?
I give the 100 men a chance.
I think I said 100 men.
Wow, I'm taking gorilla all the way.
It seems easy to say that, but if the men have a plan, which could be
Do
messy.
men ever have a plan?
Could be messy.
I got a counter for you because I saw this. How many 10-year-olds do you think you could take out at one time?
Like they're coming at you.
Yeah.
Do I have a lightsaber?
No. 10-year-olds or more? Over under?
I think I'm going under. They're gonna get me.
10-year-olds would be tough. I mean, I think
that's not little kids.
I think everyone thinks it'd be easy.
I'm
but
dropping 10-year-olds. I'm taking the over.
I don't know.
You're thick though.
You don't have the mind of a killer though.
That's true. But if a 10-year-old comes at me, I'm not afraid to drop a bitch.
I don't know if I could take 10-year-olds. I'm not sure if I could. I just don't think I'm built like that.
Leave your answer in the comments.
Yeah. John Morant versus 10 guns.
That clip better be in your Instagram though. The 10-year-old, so we get some answers.
Are we?
We're done.
10-year-olds.
Are we done with this podcast?
Yes.
Yes, we're done.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Danny.
Yeah,
Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.